listening.
Welcome to the Master Builder Show. I am your host, Jim Gibson. Today's show is sponsored by the First National Bank of Weatherford. I am a registered builder in the state of Texas, a graduate master builder, a certified green professional, and a member of Greenbelt, North Texas. Today's topic is going to be universal home design, and my guest today is my wife, Jean.
Who said what?
Said what? Universal home design. It's been around.
That means zip to me. That is a house that is a cardboard shack made out of stone.
Nope.
Looks like a pyramid.
Nope. Nope.
Okay. What are you talking about?
Let's run through our spiel here. If y'all have any questions, you can call us at 877-341-8950. That's 877-341-8950. And if you want to check out a builder or remodeler, go to www.masterbuildershow.com. It'll take you to my main web page, and you can click on the TRCC link, and that's probably the easiest thing to remember. Mm-hmm. And check them out and make sure that they are a registered builder in the state of Texas. Make sure that they are in good standing in the state of Texas. And if you have any topics that you want to cover on the next 4 weeks, please send me an email, because we've got 4 more weeks to do after today's show. Mm-hmm. And we'll be retiring from radio for a while.
Can I actually? I want to sleep in on Tuesday mornings.
You're right. Well, universal design has actually been around for a long time.
Well, it sounds like it.
It has, and where it came about, according to all the research I've done, it came about after World War II. Mm-hmm. And what was happening was every house was designed pretty well with the same height cabinets, same height everything in it, same doorways, same, unless you spend a lot of money. But what happened was a lot of these soldiers came back, and
there was a huge demand for housing.
And a lot of them were disabled.
Well, there was no accommodation made.
There was no accommodation made, and so they would either have to make shift or spend money to do it,
or get carried up and downstairs.
And what even if they found one, it was usually ugly. It wasn't designed the same way as regular houses.
Wait a minute. Ugly is objective.
Well, it's
not objective.
You could look at it and tell it was made for somebody with some kind of disability.
The houses were small. They were cranked out, cheaply made, because the GIs came home en masse, and there was no place for them to live. They married. They had children. So the boom of the late 40s and the 50s was amazing. But it would make sense to have basically one box and crank them out across the country.
Well, they needed, some of them needed wheelchair ramps. They needed a lot of things. They needed extra wide doorways, extra wide halls, more space.
Was any of that considered?
It wasn't until after then. Uh-huh. And, before then, and then if you got something or found something like that, usually they couldn't afford it. And they came up with a term then. I think we call them open space, or open concept.
Yeah, but the design from the 40s and 50s was all little rooms, and like you said, small.
There was many rooms.
Yeah,
many rooms,
there was
small,
everything.
Long hallways.
A lot of wasted space.
Yeah, and
not insulated.
Well, some of them, most of them, where energy was abundant and cheap. But back then they called them barrier-free homes. Is what they called them.
Say that again?
Barrier-free.
What does that mean?
Well, they were built similar to open concept today, where they had room to move wheelchairs
Oh, that
around.
kind of barrier.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they didn't have any barriers in the home.
Uh-huh.
But when you're actually designing a home now, if people need to look at every aspect of it. They don't just need to go in and say, oh, man, those countertops look great. Mm-hmm. And the walls are great. And the cabinets are great. They actually need to look at how you move around in a home and how you use a home. And so a universal design is not any one particular design.
It's not aesthetics.
It's not aesthetics at all. It is function.
Okay. And flow.
And flow.
Mm-hmm.
And there are many, many things that you can do. And, just like most all of our houses.
What about most all of our houses? You like the open floor plan, but they're designed, they're wheelchair accessible, they're wide doorways.
Right.
Especially the front doors. My last one was a beaut.
If you get a chance, walk through several houses, and all your passage doors, like all the ones we build, all our passage doors are 36 inches wide.
Except my last front door, the front door in Granbury
that's not a passage, that's an entry door.
We could enter that with a boat. It was huge.
Makes it easier to carry in everything.
And
we use a lot of
wonderful.
3/6, which are 42-inch wide doors.
And the space between the kitchen counters was the other thing that I had you change from what was the norm and the acceptable.
But we're using a lot of drawers then. Well,
I love drawers.
Right.
Instead of base cabinets, I do all drawers in the base units in the kitchen. And you can find everything, even that stuff way back in the corner. No hidden spots, and you can bend over. And if you were in a wheelchair, we put a minimum of 5 foot, I think, between the counters from the center island.
Right.
And you could get to everything.
Well, you could roll around, back up, and maneuver. And, like I said, it's not just built for people with disabilities. It's built. What you need to do is think about, well, if you got kids, your age.
2 people in a kitchen.
Well, I know, but if you've got kids that need the help.
That was a major consideration. Have you ever, the galley.
Consideration.
Yeah, for me it was. 2 people in a kitchen that you're not squeezing by each other. We had room to walk around in that kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
And the other thing to consider is resale value. You don't know who's going to buy the house.
Right. Well, that's the reason you want to do. It's called universal design, because you can go in and modify it. And it looks like we got to take our first break. We'll be back here in just a couple of minutes.
Did you know that some of the best home builders in the entire nation are right here in Parker County? Hello, everyone. This is Lynn Bearden, president of First National Bank of Weatherford. Our lenders believe your family deserves the best when it comes to your dream home. First National Bank is proud to support the Master Builder Show on QXFM. First National Bank in Weatherford has been building homes in Parker County since 1880. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Croft Foam Insulation and Protective Coatings has over 25 years of experience in the spray foam business, serving residential, commercial, and industrial clients. Croft Foam specializes in open and closed-cell polyurethane foam applications to construction, refrigerated trailers, and even castles. Croft Foam is a Fort Worth-based company. You may reach them by calling 817-482-1664 or email at foamman@swbell.net.
Fort Worth Lighting, serving Parker, Wise, Palo Pinto, and surrounding counties with a selection of interior and exterior lighting fixtures. They also have ceiling fans, mirrors, and vanities in all sizes. A lighting consultant will help you with your decisions. For an appointment with a Fort Worth Lighting consultant, the number is 817-597-6320, or the website is fortworthlighting.com. 817-597-6320 for Fort Worth Lighting.
Are you having a construction-related issue? Do you need a construction attorney? If so, you may call the law firm of Kelly M. Davis and Associates. Kelly's family background in the construction industry has led to her focus in construction litigation, with over 9 years of experience practicing construction law in and around the metro area. For more information, you may visit www.kmdalegal.com. or you may call 972-434-8009. That's 972-434-8009. Kelly M. Davis and Associates. Principal offices are located in Louisville, Texas.
Welcome back to the Master Builder Show. I am your host, Jim Gibson. Today's show is sponsored by the First National Bank of Weatherford. My guest is my wife, Jean Gibson. We've been talking about universal design, where it came about. It came about after World War II, and then it kind of caught on. So they were designing houses. More and more people wanted houses. Like back several years back, most all your bathroom countertops were about 4 inches lower or so than your kitchen countertops. If you walked in a bathroom, you kind of had to bend down. Well, because most of them had kids, and so they had the shorter countertops. Now, I don't think I've put a short counter in any bathroom that we've ever built, because what they did, we made drawers that you pulled out and flipped over that the kids would stand on.
I love that idea. That's clever.
And then as the kids grew older, because they grow up and they gain height each year, they don't have to bend over when they end up being 6'8".
But universal design, what does it mean in general? It's something that is
In
acceptable
general,
around the world, or what? What are you talking about?
It's acceptable around the world, and it is, you're designing something that fits your needs and has, you have the ability to add the things that you need in the future without major remodeling. And so if you make your doorways wider to begin with, because, like I said, we make all our passage doorways at least 3.0, which is 3 foot. And then when you can come in, because there's a lot of them. They'll make they'll make the passage doors. They'll make them all 3.0, and then when you go into the bathroom, it's a 32-inch door, or a 30-inch door, or a 24-inch door. I've seen some of them with 24-inch doors, and it depends on how the house is designed. Sure, it's got 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. But if you can't get to them, you've got to look at how you enter them, how they flow,
right?
And if you can move around inside them. So, they've got all sorts of things that we look at. And, it's just start at the front door.
Well, one of the things I got through the National Association of Home Builders was my CAP certification.
Right, which means Certified Aging in Place
Specialist. And I've also been a nurse since, right after the flood. I put a Band-Aid on Noah. So I've been in nursing and in long-term care, and in my background was a natural flow into the aging in place. And that's something I'm aware of. The focus, because of the population, is on aging in place.
Right.
But if you've got a teenage child that's wheelchair bound, you sure can't function in these little skinny in the skinny kitchens and the skinny bathrooms. You need space to maneuver. So when you say that you've got room to get a wheelchair through a door,
it starts.
What about the person that's pushing the wheelchair?
Right.
Can you get by the wheelchair? Can you transfer? A conventional bathtub works for a younger child.
Well, you're jumping all the way around, but anyway.
But we're talking about universal.
Universal.
And we're talking about making these accommodations which have universal application.
Right. So let's start at the front.
Okay, start at the front door?
Start at the front door.
Okay.
And so what you want to do on the very front is a no-step entry. Mm-hmm. So either bring it up sloped if you have it, and you don't want anything a greater slope than 1 inch for every 20 inches, I believe, are the specifications. So that's very gradual slope. So you don't get run away if you rolling downhill.
Or if you've got a motorized, even the motorized wheelchairs have limitations.
Right.
They're not four-wheeling.
But this is not just for wheelchairs. It's for people that are, like you said, we design them for aging in place also. Mm-hmm. So if I move into this house, and a lot of people are moving into a last-time home, so they're looking for amenities that they can use a walker or
reduce fall risk.
Pull into the driveway and actually open the door and get out of your car and not fall off the side of the driveway.
That's your pet peeve, too, and that's why we have Gibson Garage. We dubbed them years and years ago. The Gibson Garage is huge. But I love that. Pull into the garage, and we can both open our car doors in the garage. Like I
said, a lot of them, when you're building spec homes especially and stuff, you're building for speculation, they're going to look at is it a concrete driveway, basically, when they start at the front. They don't care if it's 8 foot wide, 10 foot wide,
it doesn't
12
register.
It doesn't register, but
until
it is concrete.
Have to turn around.
Until they pull into it and then try to get out. Mm-hmm. Or you try to, and I'm talking about just the approach to the driveway. If not a 2-car garage with a short drive. A lot of these drives we build are 200 feet long, 100 feet long, 300 feet
long.
long.
Ours is 700 feet long.
Yeah, but anyway,
right.
They'll bring them in on the approach, and I like to have them at a minimum of 12 foot wide, which gives you about. It really doesn't give you that much room. A normal garage door is 8 foot wide. Mm-hmm. So you can imagine pulling through there, pulling up on a driveway. So if you got 12 foot, you got at least 2 foot on each side.
I hit things.
Yeah, I know. I have to repair them.
It's true. And the other thing that I had a disagreement with my own mother over when she wanted this wonderful serpentine driveway.
I hate those.
It was very pretty. I'll give it credit. You couldn't back out that thing without clipping a tree.
Well, what they did,
but it was
though,
awful.
see, she hired a guy to put it in, and she said, I want this serpentine driveway, and he quoted her price. Well, he serpentined it in, and it was 8 foot wide. Well, you couldn't hardly make the curves without a wheel falling off one side of the driveway or the other. And that's the problem. They look pretty, they're easy to mow around and all this other stuff, but they're not, you can pull in them fine. But if you don't have a turnaround where you can pull straight back out, it's kind of hard to make those curves going backwards for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And
she finally added a turnaround. That's a major consideration.
Yeah. Well, it depends on how much room you've got. And but if you just make the driveway wider to start with, coming in, and that's a pretty good size expense though, because concrete has gone up, steel has gone up, and we've got to take another break. We'll be back here in just a couple of minutes.
Did you know that some of the best home builders in the entire nation are right here in Parker County? Hello, everyone. This is Lynn Bearden, president of First National Bank of Weatherford. Our lenders believe your family deserves the best when it comes to your dream home. First National Bank is proud to support the Master Builder Show on QXFM. First National Bank in Weatherford has been building homes in Parker County since 1880. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Fort Worth Lighting, serving the building professional in Parker, Wise, Palo Pinto, and surrounding counties. Services include planned takeoff, site walkthrough, and delivery. For an appointment with a Fort Worth Lighting consultant, the number is 817-597-6320, or the website is fortworthlighting.com. Again, it's 817-597-6320 for Fort Worth Lighting.
Are you having a construction-related issue? Do you need a construction attorney? If so, you may call the law firm of Kelly M. Davis and Associates. Kelly's family background in the construction industry has led to her focus in construction litigation with over 9 years of experience practicing construction law in and around the metro area. For more information, you may visit www.kmdalegal.com or you may call 972-434-8009. That's 972-434-8009. Kelly M. Davis and Associates. Principal offices are located in Louisville, Texas. Croft Foam Insulation and Protective Coatings has over 25 years of experience in the spray foam business, serving residential, commercial, and industrial clients. Croft Foam specializes in open and closed cell polyurethane foam applications to construction, refrigerated trailers, and even castles. Croft Foam is a Fort Worth-based company. You may reach them by calling 817-482-1664 or email at foamman@swbell.net.
Welcome back to the Master Builder Show. I am your host, Jim Gibson. Today's show is sponsored by the First National Bank of Weatherford, and my guest today is my wife, Jean Gibson. We're talking about the universal home design, when it began, and some things that you can do. And the best thing to do is when you're building a home, plan ahead. And like I said, we started with the entryway. You don't want a high incline, or you want it to make it easy for you to get in, kids to get in. No steps. Make it gradual slopes. The foams are barrier free.
Yeah, reduced fall risk. That's the emphasis.
And more and more people that I build for are getting away from two-story homes. If they've got two-story homes, they've got the upstairs just for guests or for their kids or for somebody that's capable of climbing the stairs.
And the master suite, everything is downstairs. Because I've been looking at Garner is, I don't remember his first name, is an architect. I love his house design. And every one of his new book designs has the master suite downstairs.
Well, yeah, he's designed for 50s plus. Mm-hmm. I loved 2 stories back when I would run up and down the stairs.
Oh, our kids did.
Yeah, everybody.
Boom, 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 boom.
We always wanted a 2-story house, or the more, and get up there on the top floor and look out your bedroom windows and see, be about tree height. And
I hated the staircase because everything was stacked on the stairs to go upstairs. Well, everything that you, Yeah, and
every time as
it.
I got older, our kitchen was downstairs, and I'd want something to eat. And, we'd be watching TV, and I'd say, well, then, go down and get a snack. Well, you had to run down the stairs and run back up the stairs. Well, I got too old to do that. So,
well, all the dirty my perspective is everything's left upstairs. I love the new design. I've noticed also in the newer designs, for a while there, they were eliminating dining rooms. And formal dining areas are back into the plans, which I really do like.
They're back into some of them. And one of the reasons is I had some people come through a house that we'd built and opened a design for, and they said, where am I going to hang my pictures?
That was my complaint.
Well, yeah, we'll hang them on the exterior walls as far as I'm concerned. I like the open concept.
Yeah.
Or put them, we had 8 or 10 foot ceilings in this thing, and we had.
That's not cozy.
We could hang them all the way to the ceiling.
That's why you're in charge of construction. I'm in charge of aesthetics.
Right.
Because we have a very different opinion of what looks good.
Well, you need to make your hallways, like I said, about 42 inches wide.
Or eliminate them.
I
like that elimination idea. It's a waste of space.
Yeah, they are. But
and
sometimes they're necessary.
Right, but access is reduced. Every time you've got a curve or a corner to go around or a turn to make, you reduce access when you're looking at accommodating.
Not if it's 5 foot wide.
Well, it's true. But it's still a curve, a turn or a corner. And you have to remember it's not just the wheelchair or the walker, it's the other person that's there as well who's helping them. You have to make space for both.
Well, these, most these designs are real simple. And once you have lived in a house that has been designed by the universal design theme type deal, you wondered how you ever lived in anything else. And when you walk into another house, that you got wide access to going. I mean, even when you're going down a hall, every door you go through is minimum 3 foot wide, and all this other stuff. You go into somebody else's house or another house,
a brand new one too,
and you go, what's wrong with these doors? Something's not right, and it's because it's cheaper to do so.
Yeah. But we were talking too now with the inspections. Now the law is in force. The inspections are now mandatory.
Yesterday.
But the inspector is not going to. That's not what he's involved in. It's got nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do.
So that's something. That's a burden. The decision making falls on the buyer or the builder if it's a spec.
Well, but like I said, we're building primaries 50 plus type houses, or we try to. Yeah, I mean, we built them for a lot of young people. It's
who we relate to.
Yeah, we try to. But we relate to the younger or relate to the older?
Yeah, we'll talk about that some other day.
Anyway, but the thing is that once you get in a house that has been designed that has easy flow, easy access, like all of our cabinets that we have, or we pretty well put in all our houses, have drawers in every cabinet, and they're
base units.
They're base unit, the base units, and put very few doors on them except under the sinks and stuff like that, because I don't like getting down and trying to dig and find out what's in the back of the cabinet, and you tend to use everything in the front, and you put everything that you normally use in the front, and you use all the back of it for storage for things that you don't even know
things disappear back there. It's a great void in the unknown.
Yeah, and if you
things slide back in there and you don't remember you even have them.
Extension drawers, and that's part of it, part of the universal design. Your light switches, accessible, easy to reach. Your electrical outlets, want to make them where they're easier to reach.
And in irregular intervals along the wall so that you don't have extension cords.
Well, that's code now.
Well, the other thing that ties to this concept was last week when you were talking about that construction cost where it was 2 foot wide by 50 foot long.
Right.
And the other way was
10 foot by 10 foot.
Yeah. We had played with designs for a house to build. And if you build a box,
right,
it can look like anything. It's all trim and facade. Once you get the basics down, you can have any look at all. It's facade.
They've got several. If you go to a lot of these design places on the web,
internet,
you'll see the same floor plan over and over and over again. But when you're looking at the front of the house, you're looking at a French country. Then all of a sudden you're looking at a ranch, and then you're looking at a Gothic. Then you're looking at, but it's all the same floor plan. All they do is just change the exterior and maybe change the type of doorways as far as put arches and
anything.
All sorts of things you can
Well,
do.
and that was when we had talked about the earth sheltered home, which turned out to be, unless we had $1 million in our back pocket, it wasn't going to happen.
Well, there's no financing for it.
There is no financing, but the facade, again, was anything we wanted. We designed an underground box with an open courtyard, and the face was exposed, and it could be a castle, it could be a mushroom, it could be anything our hearts desire. It does not affect the functionality of the home.
Other than the earth sheltered home would stay is about the most energy efficient home you could build. But like I said, it's considered an experimental house, and it's not going to be done. When you're going into a universal design, you want to also look at your flooring, your bathtubs. You want non-slip surfaces. You want showers big enough to accommodate somebody that may have some kind of problems that they can get in and out of easily. And that's why a reason a lot of them now we're doing the doorless. There's no doors on the showers.
I don't like the doors anyway.
Well,
I like
something else
shower
to clean.
it is something else to clean.
You like curtains, but that's in a small one. Most of them now are designed without any doors, curtains, or anything.
Oh, you mean a walk-around shower. The other thing is, as a nation that's getting larger, the access...
Population-wise, is that what it is?
No. I'm talking about booty-wise.
Oh.
So that having greater access makes the whole house more accommodating as we age and enlarge. But the other thing to look at for access to bathtubs is that these fancy bathtubs with the door and the raise and lower seat and all that, it's one thing, but to get a conventional bathtub where you can sit on the edge and swing your feet in is also a very functional way to make use of good standard equipment. It doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to give you enough space to maneuver.
Well, there's all sorts of simple things. Like if you're carrying in a bag of groceries and you've got to go through a door, you can take a lever handle and bump it down with your elbow and push the door open. Try to do that with a round knob. You've got to get one hand free and reach and turn that knob. So a lever handle again is part of the universal design. Like I said, has been around for ages. People just don't know the proper term for it. And then, of course, the National Association of Home Builders came up with the caps, and so they recommend lever handles, paddle light switches, where you don't have to flip the switch. You can bump it. It. There again, if you're carrying bags and you're going into a dark room, you use your elbow and just bump it. So,
or if you've got a cast on, something very basic. Yeah. While working in Guam, I broke my leg, and I had to come home in a cast on crutches. That was enlightening. Try to make it down aisles and into the airplane bathroom in a cast with crutches. When you've got that little space, it really reinforces that you don't have to be aged and in a wheelchair. You could have broken your arm and now broken your hand. Turn a knob, put on a light, pick up something. Faucets.
Well,
faucets are horrible.
Well, the basic design and our universal design is also what we're now calling, a lot of the things we're calling green building.
Oh, here we go with greenwashing again.
Well, there again, we're talking about on your faucets for your sinks.
Well, what's green about a faucet?
Well, the flow, but I'm saying that when you're putting in something, you've got to think about who's going to have to turn the water on, who's going to have to turn it off. Well, you use the single lever type faucet, and there again, you can do like a doctor, and you can bump that thing with your elbow up, backwards, sideways, turn it on a little hotter, a little colder, and you don't have to turn the faucet on. And as we get older, like a lot of us will suffer from arthritis, and it makes it difficult to turn a knob. Yeah.
Or if you're young and clumsy.
If you're young and clumsy. or if you got your hands are filthy, you want to kick on the water and wash them.
Yeah.
You don't have to
and not get all the oil on the faucet
and then
handle. Good thinking.
If you want to change the temperature, you can always bump it with your elbow a little bit.
Yeah, so you don't have to be old and you don't have to be in a cast.
Like I said,
it's just everyday life.
There's a lot of things that we do now that is considered universal design, which we don't think about it that way anymore because it's been around since the 40s or late 40s and 50s, and a lot of these things, just like I said, the paddle type light switches, the single.
Things that were in the 1950s experimental home have come into universal acceptance.
Yeah, and we talk about maintenance free. See, this is another thing in universal design. If you can design your building that you don't have to paint, but every 25, 30 years if you're going to have to paint.
Or the sidings now, many of them are color impregnated.
Right.
So that you never have to paint them, or you just touch up paint them.
No, it's all the way through the material, so you don't ever
Do they
touch
fade?
them up.
Does hardy colored siding fade?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I would imagine it has a UV protectant in it since it's made by Hardy.
But
and I don't.
We will have to ask them.
They haven't been around long enough to fade. I mean, over time, Texas Sun, they may. I know the old aluminum siding and the vinyl siding stuff.
Dramatic.
All that fades over years.
Yeah.
But in our Texas Sun, it's hard to keep a lot of things from fading. But the new Hardy that's been out here now for a little bit,
which is concrete and something else.
It's concrete fiber. Well, fibrous concrete siding. But it's been around for years. But the thing about it held paint better than wood. Didn't rot. Termites didn't eat it. It was fireproof. And so you're looking at maintenance free. There again with everything we're doing kind of to do green now was also in universal design. Your types of vegetation you plant around your house. You want drought resistant. You want kind of things that you can just let go wild and they look great without having to go out there and manicure it, trim it, and sculpt it, and all this other stuff. So that's again in universal design.
Well, what else have you got on your list that makes it a universal design?
Well, we're trying to start out. We're kind of skipping around here.
We got a nice big front door, and there's no.
Well, site planning was the main thing. I kind of jumped ahead too, but you skip around so much. That anyway.
After decades of being married to me, yes, I was going to say, why do you react now?
Well, start out with about like the Mother Earth News back then too, passive solar. So it depends on. Universal design deals with the direction you face your house, where you place your windows. Well, I like to face mine north because we live to the south and we live to the back. And you can put your overhangs such that the sun shines in the winter. It doesn't shine in at all in the summer. So overhangs.
But the garage, preferably on the west side, to reduce the cooking sun in the living space.
Right. And, actually, in today's building science, the best garage you can have is a detached garage.
Say, what?
A detached garage.
Why?
Because of your volatile organic compounds that are stored in your garage. If you don't seal off your garage and your attic above your garage, then you have a chance for those chemical compounds to go through the air.
Oh my gosh!
And enter your house. So to actually.
Well, that's new because I've always liked the garage there. Pull in the garage, and we always kept it. It was cool or it was heated passively from the house.
Well,
so now the trend is to get away from that too.
The trend is not to get away from it. The teachings are. I mean, there's attached garages are great. And they're the most convenient because you can get out of your car. And
thieves like them the best.
Well, they can go in there and work, try and get in your house and have all the time they want. But, to do it right, you're supposed to have a vapor barrier between the house and the garage. Well, because most people store gasoline out there, they store paints out there, they store all this
paint
stuff.
Thinners.
And the big push now is to do away with volatile organic VOCs, volatile organic compounds, and you always have a chance of them seeping into the living areas. And if you don't above where you climb up and look in your attic, and you're looking, if you don't have a knee wall and completely seal that off, all the vapors can go up through the ceiling in the garage and filter over and to
Get
the
into
rest
the
of the
house.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, there's all sorts of little things.
You just still amaze me.
I know,
After
well.
all this time, you still have something new and fresh to say.
Yeah.
Well, that's one.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Well,
What else have you got?
All your planters that you like, a lot of people like build planters outside. Make
Oh,
them,
yeah,
make
I
them
do.
to a convenient height where you don't have to bend over to water them.
and
take
I get
care of
points
them.
for that
And like
one.
I said, this is all can be done at a later date. But
I was the one that hauled block, and we always have a vegetable garden, and I hauled the block. And we have made raised vegetable garden beds, which are wonderful. You can sit on the edge and weed.
Yeah.
You can stand at a normal height and pick the vegetables. I like them, and we'll get more.
You know, back years, I won't say years ago, but a lot of people were building split level homes and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You know, where you had to step down, maybe just one step down to a living area or a step up to another area. Those have kind of gone away.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Well, they're trip hazards, you know, for one thing. And people are living in their houses longer. Mm-hmm. And
Out of necessity.
Out of necessity. And the price is going up every day.
Well, you said that was the shift in the marketplace, away from the easy to get into, less expensive house.
Well, it will be. It will be.
So every house is going to be, pricey.
Well, I will say there's new plans coming up. We've got to take another break here. We'll be back here in a couple of minutes.
Did you know that some of the best home builders in the entire nation are right here in Parker County? Hello, everyone. This is Lynn Bearden, president of First National Bank of Weatherford. Our lenders believe your family deserves the best when it comes to your dream home. First National Bank is proud to support the Master Builder Show on QXFM. First National Bank in Weatherford has been building homes in Parker County since 1880. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Fort Worth Lighting, serving Parker, Wise, Palo Pinto, and surrounding counties with a selection of interior and exterior lighting fixtures. They also have ceiling fans, mirrors, and vanities in all sizes. A lighting consultant will help you with your decisions. For an appointment with a Fort Worth Lighting consultant, the number is 817-597-6320, or the website is fortworthlighting.com. 817-597-6320 for Fort Worth Lighting.
Are you looking for a law firm with an understanding of the construction industry? Kelly M. Davis & Associates experience includes home inspections, construction contracts, disputes with builders, and helping subcontractors or vendors that have not been paid for their services. For more information, you may visit www.kmdalegal.com, or you may call 972-434-8009. That's 972-434-8009.
Kelly M. Davis and Associates. Principal offices are located in Louisville, Texas. Croft Foam Insulation and Protective Coatings has over 25 years of experience in the spray foam business, serving residential, commercial, and industrial clients. Croft Foam specializes in open and closed cell polyurethane foam applications to construction, refrigerated trailers, and even castles. Croft Foam is a Fort Worth-based company. You may reach them by calling 817-482-1664 or email at foamman@swbell.net.
Welcome back to the Master Builder Show. I am your host, Jim Gibson. Today's show is sponsored by the First National Bank of Weatherford. I've been talking with my wife, Jean Gibson, and we're talking about universal design, how it ties into green building.
And you started to say?
And I started to say what?
On October the 1st?
Oh, yeah. Well, you were talking about a different subject, which is going to be the smaller homes, the entry-level homes and things that people are getting into right now. There are certain incentives that are going to go away. I don't know when they're going away fairly soon, but the Fed has put some pretty stiff restrictions on financing that's going to be going into effect October 1st of this year. So the mortgage companies are going to get more strict as to who they can loan to, and you will actually have to have good credit to get a loan probably. which is
yeah.
that just baffles me. But why?
Well, the trend for the last few years, particularly, has to get as many people in their own home as possible. But it's also been they've had problems staying in them. But if anybody has questions or wants further information, Jennifer Lopez from First National Bank of Weatherford
mortgage
was a guest on here to explain those things, and you can contact her for details.
Right. And let's go back to our main topic here, which was universal design. And like I said, a lot of these things we're talking about now in green building because they make sense, and they were tied in to the green building along with sustainable products, water conservation, maintenance,
recapture.
Recapture systems.
Yeah.
Recapture what? Rainwater?
Yeah, I still
rainwater
like
harvesting.
I still like those capture systems. I think that's a great idea. Under the inspections, is it legal to take your gray water and use it for irrigation? Can you do that legally?
Out in the country, you can. I don't know if they'll allow you to do it in the cities. I don't know what the city codes are, but there again, you're going to have to plan ahead when you put your drainage systems in. You can't tie any of your gray water systems into your black water system, so you could take them out. There's a lot of toilets now that you can use any kind of water to flush them. So what they're doing is they're using the gray water from their baths and their sinks. Yeah. Not necessarily the sinks, but they're using from the bath. The sinks are still going into the black water tank because of the greases and the food substances and stuff like that. But the showers and your bathroom sinks and stuff can be used a second time if you've got a facility to store them in and use them to flush your toilets with. And that's becoming fairly commonplace in a lot of places. But
it's a necessity here in Weatherford area, as dry as we are. There's a hurricane dumping lots of water on East Texas, and we may get a sprinkle. We're dry. We need to be smart with water out here.
Well, we need to be watering our plants with reusing our water to water our plants.
Well, the detergents in the water don't do any harm to the plants either.
A lot of times they help them. Depending on what.
Biodegradable detergents. And
right.
It allows the water to penetrate.
But we were talking about, you'd have to plan it all the way from the beginning because you want to have 2 sets of drain pipes coming out of your house.
Okay.
And you'd have to have all your black water going into your normal septic systems or some type of treatment systems. And you could have your gray waters coming out of your showers and stuff to a storage
washing
facility.
machine, is that a safe gray water?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, washing machines.
What happens to bleach over time?
Breaks down.
Okay.
You're not using. It's probably going to be. You're taking it into a storage facility, so it's going to be diluted even more. So your chlorination is bleach, basically.
Yeah, it is.
In most of your and most people water their grass with chlorinated water. If they're in the city, so you don't have that big a problem. There's all sorts of things that you can do. And
just recently you tested our water.
Yeah.
And that home test kit was great. We have a well.
Right.
And that was very enlightening. And how much did it cost for the water test kit?
I think it was about $10. It wasn't much. Oh no, I think it was $30.
And where did you get it?
I don't remember. I got it offline.
But you found it, right, you found it online.
But it contained, I think, 11 different tests that we performed on our water.
But it was coliforms, it was bacteria.
It was everything.
It was everything. Mineral content, pH.
It was just about everything.
It was really neat. So this is something, too, that people might want to consider.
The only thing we found out in our water, it's pretty hard. And
we destroy coffee pots.
It is perfect for drinking.
We had nothing negative at all out of our good old well water. But I want to preserve our water.
Well, we need to. Our groundwater, our well water. We've got our water tables are drying up in some areas, and that was a different show. But
well, it was an important show. It was a lot of detail. We did talk about water. So what you're talking, universal design simply is a well-planned house.
A well-planned house and planned where you can add grab bars around your showers or your tubs at a later date.
Or at any time. Anybody can fall.
Right.
I fall like a tree all the time.
But if you plan ahead, then you've got your 2x4s and stuff in the right place, or extra boards back behind the sheetrock that you can actually, because you need something that's going to support your weight.
Yeah.
And so you've got to plan ahead on a lot of these things. So if you plan to put the grab bars there and stuff,
right? The stick-on ones, the suction ones don't do anything.
Don't really work that
well. Especially if they're stuck on tiles, your weight will pull the tile off. Well, if it doesn't pull the grab bar off. Plan ahead.
You're not supposed to put all your weight on the stick-on bar anyway. But anyway, your laundry areas. Think about that. I mean, as you get older, you're still going to have to do it. So I like stackables for
washer dryer.
Washer dryer.
Yep.
And all their newer ones are coming in front loaded now, and they've got the little drawer department below them before it puts it up in the heights where
but it's $200 for a drawer.
We're not talking about money. We're talking about convenience.
I have this little practical side says for $200 I can bend an extra 6 inches.
Yeah,
and
but you may not be at a later date. And
hasn't he painted a sweet picture of me this evening? Yes.
But if you're in a wheelchair or
then it's high and you won't get to the other one.
No. I'm talking about the ones that they have now, the front loaders. It is much, much more convenient to get into, especially the washers that you were top loading. If you were in a wheelchair or some kind of incapacitated impairment, you wouldn't
temporary
be able to get them
or
out.
permanent.
Temporary or permanent. But we all are getting older, so universal design just means plan ahead.
Yeah.
Plan everything that you can, and even the smallest things can be difficult for us as we age. As you all know, with my mother, who we've got her in a hospice facility right now.
She fell and broke her hip on Sunday.
Yeah, but anyhow, we were going over there and helping her do things, and I found out the most simple things, like taking the top off a bottle of water.
Yeah, she couldn't do it.
And so and then it started dawning on me, everything in the house as we get older needs to be made simple, easy to operate, no or low maintenance. It needs to be at heights that we can reach.
Remember, somebody was very gracious and brought her a casserole dish full of food.
Yeah.
And she called you because she was hungry and couldn't eat because the casserole dish was heavy.
She could not get it out of the refrigerator.
It was too heavy.
Right.
So there's major considerations. What an individual really needs to do is to sit down with their builder or their architect.
We got to take another break. We'll be back here in a couple of minutes.
Did you know that some of the best home builders in the entire nation are right here in Parker County? Hello, everyone. This is Lynn Bearden, president of First National Bank of Weatherford. Our lenders believe your family deserves the best when it comes to your dream home. First National Bank is proud to support the Master Builder Show on QXFM. First National Bank in Weatherford has been building homes in Parker County since 1880. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Fort Worth Lighting, serving Parker, Wise, Palo Pinto, and surrounding counties with a selection of interior and exterior lighting fixtures. They also have ceiling fans, mirrors, and vanities in all sizes. A lighting consultant will help you with your decisions. For an appointment with a Fort Worth Lighting consultant, the number is 817-597-6320, or the website is fortworthlighting.com. 817-597-6320 for Fort Worth Lighting.
Are you looking for a law firm with an understanding of the construction industry? Kelly M. Davis and Associates experience includes home inspections, construction contracts, disputes with builders, and helping subcontractors or vendors that have not been paid for their services. For more information, you may visit www.kmdalegal.com, or you may call 972-434-8009. That's 972-434-8009.
Kelly M. Davis and Associates principal offices are located in Louisville, Texas. Croft Foam Insulation and Protective Coatings has over 25 years of experience in the spray foam business, serving residential, commercial, and industrial clients. Croft Foam specializes in open and closed cell polyurethane foam applications to construction, refrigerated trailers, and even castles. Croft Foam is a Fort Worth-based company. You may reach them by calling 817-482-1664 or email at foamman@swbell.net.
Welcome back to the Master Builder Show. I am your host, Jim Gibson. Today's show is sponsored by the First National Bank of Weatherford. My guest today is my wife, Jean Gibson. We're talking about universal home design and how it ties into green building. And it is, like I said, it's basically simple, easy, logical designs. Mm-hmm. Another thing you need to look at is your closets and storage areas. Mm-hmm. And you want your layout, you want your heights and your layout easily accessible for all around household members. I mean, for everybody that has to function in that closet. You want, you don't want to have them saying, "Mommy, come here," or "Help me." You can make it with pull down racks. There's all sorts of things they have out there now that you can.
Closet design has become a major industry.
One thing we didn't talk about, and that was lighting. As we age,
or have kids,
most of it, you want light, well lit areas to avoid trip hazards. We like tile or hardwood floors or solid surface floors. They recommend a lot of places no throw rugs in a lot of these areas.
Tripping hazards.
Because they are trip hazards. Mm-hmm. But, they're easier to clean and stuff, but you can always take them out. I know my mother was used to walking around on hard surfaces, and then when we put her in that apartment we put her in, it was a retirement village. It had carpet in it. It wasn't very thick pile carpet, but it was difficult for her to use the walker.
To pick her feet up that extra height.
To pick her feet up the extra half inch or quarter inch, whatever it was, because she was used to barely picking up her feet, shuffling across. Well, all that needs to be taken in consideration. Adjustable height shelving in your closets, where you can, as you grow or as you deteriorate, put them at whatever height would be necessary for storage.
The other side of the coin that you do that I like is that you've got all the extra space is used.
Yeah,
and
try to use everything.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're especially in a house with 10-foot ceilings. Some of our clients have put shelving up at the 8 or 9 foot level for display area. You put a cabinet up in a dead space over
a pantry.
Over the pantry. It was way up. Yeah. You'd have to use a ladder, but that's the...
No, you have to use a ladder to get up there, but you couldn't reach it from the inside if you open a door if it was normally a 10-foot ceiling. Yeah,
but that makes a good space for the storage for the Christmas punch bowl. The great big out-of-the-way things.
I haven't put any in a long time, but it says we try to avoid bifold doors or accordion-type doors.
Because?
That they just get in the way. If you're going to do that,
how much space on each side as they fold up do they lose?
Well, you lose like 4 to 6 inches on each side.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to do something like that, try to put in pocket doors.
I like this.
Pocket doors are neat.
But the downside to a pocket door is somebody like me with a hammer and a nail.
Right.
Yep.
Don't hang a picture right there on the pocket door.
Don't
drill through there and run your extra telephone line through there or your TV through it.
That's a major failing.
Well, we had an installer come in one time to one of the houses, and we put. This was an older house, but it had pocket doors in it, and it wasn't pre-wired. And this was back in the 70s, I think. Anyway, the guy came in, and he was running his lines, along the baseboard and how they used to do it, and board. And we got a call. I was the manager over this area. Got a call, and the lady couldn't close her door. Or couldn't close the door, and we get over there, and sure enough, he'd bored right through the door and ran the wire through the door and stapled it on both sides, and rather where it was kind of fixed in place. We've got to wrap up this week's show, and we will be back here next week, same time, same place.